Hey, it is Andy with the Fence Post Indie Music and Vinyl blog, and I've covered Acid House Kings close to ad nauseum at this point. And as I have a handful more releases, it's going to continue a little bit longer. Prior to this record, I've looked at the 3 LPs that preceded it, this being their 5th. Their debut is, well, the sole one that they have not pressed to vinyl. I've also just begun when it comes to some of their 7-inch singles. So today I am looking at the band's, like I said, 5th LP, and it's called Music Sounds Better With You. Released in March of 2011, the band had originally entered the studio in 2007 to record, but it got pushed back. According to their bio on Labrador Records website, and I quote, "After 3 months and more than half the album finished, they decided to scrap it. The reason? They weren't completely sure they would top their previous album and considered the songs too dark and not melodic enough for the Kings." They returned to the studio in roughly 2010 with some fresh ideas, new inspiration, and a more upbeat mood. Musically, the band continued pressing their indie pop sound forward, continuing to distance themselves from the lo-fi twee roots from the early 90s. And to be honest, while Music Sounds Better With You is plenty melodic, there's still a darker element to it when compared to prior releases. But it's still plenty upbeat, and it will still leave you feeling good. Opening track, Are We Lovers or Are We Friends, seems an ode to deciphering and an attempt to determine whether a person of the singer's affection is romantic and or sexual attractions, or if it's just a solid friendship. The song has woodwind instruments, including a prominent clarinet, as well as some strings. This is true indie pop, and I am here for it. Along the same lines as closer Heaven Knows I Miss Him Now. Pair indie pop with strings and woodwind instruments and even brass, and you have sounds that harken to, well, other Swedish artists like Jens Lekman, or even other European indie pop artists like Belle and Sebastian. Acid House Kings finds welcome home amidst those types of artists. Then take Windshield, which has kind of a bit of a chorus and a fanfare of trumpets. Julia Lannerheim takes over on lead vocals. Soft and melodic, her vocals kind of coo with a driving, jangly guitar to back her up. She continues to lead the band in the upbeat Would You Say Stop. When I first heard Underwater, the more electric guitar riffs reminded me of, well, Johan Angergaard's solo project, The Legends, and the debut album they released in 2003 with that moniker, Up Against the Legends. Given that that is among my favorite albums of all time, I was immediately drawn to the song, and it remains one of my favorites on this album and by Acid House Kings as a whole. Likewise, Where Have We Been has a greater darkness to it that's kind of delectable. On the song, I believe it's Nicholas Angergaard that is on lead vocals, and he sings in the chorus, and I quote, "Now it seems the two of us is nowhere, caught between the devil and the sea," end quote. As found on Where Have We Been, there's clever lyricism throughout the album that simply cannot be ignored. You can enjoy the music for its indie pop-centric vibes and sensibilities, but you can get so much more out of it when you dig into the content and the lyrics itself. The music is great, and it's intricate and smartly crafted, composed, and mastered. The lyrics take it one step further, tying it all together in a nice little package for your enjoyment and some good rainy day contemplation as well. The opening line in Labrador's bio for Acid House Kings makes a bold claim: Sweden's #1 pop band. The bio concludes with a quote by Lannerheim herself, and I quote once again, "Music Sounds Better With You will not redefine pop music, but it may very well define it," end quote. Both statements are bold. Quite bold, in fact. Yes, but I claim that they're also kind of true. Before wrapping up, let's take a quick look at the various versions that have been released so far. And then I'll do a quick unboxing of my copy on vinyl. Music Sounds Better With You was released on Labrador Records in Sweden on both CD and vinyl. There were also a handful of CDs pressed outside of Europe, in Asia, Thailand, Japan, Indonesia. The vinyl pressing right here is the only one available as of 2023. And like other Acid House Kings, it's sold out. It's also pretty minimal. There's just the sleeve jacket with no inserts and the vinyl on black wax. On the cover you have a kind of upbeat photo of the band. I love the simple serifed font. Where one or two of their prior releases had lyrics printed on the back, this one forgoes that for just a nice bold track list, and then credits down along the bottom. As I noted, this was pressed on black wax. On the A side, you have Acid House Kings, and this is something fun that I've noticed just now. On the A side, it says Acid House Kings, and on the B, the label says B-Sid House Kings. I mean, I just love it. It's great. Let me know what you think of Acid House Kings and where Music Sounds Better With You stacks up against the rest of their releases in your opinion. Me, I think Music Sounds Better With You kind of is right up there with Sing Along with the Acid House Kings, my #1 album by Acid House Kings. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.